Hello everybody and welcome to episode 4 of Newly Discovered. I told you about the last time when I was going through records of my father's, and that was when we found Edwards and Ward. But episode 4, I found another rare recording. Now this recording is very important to me for this reason. I have always been a huge fan of John Cage. Held him in high regard for quite a long time as the grandfather of experimental music and noise. Now, he started doing his stuff early 50s, really pushing the boundaries with prepared piano and silence and, you know, bicycles and typewriters. But I actually found something apparently that's like 10 to 15 years before. A guy named Krocka Weiching, who's from Czechoslovakia, and he pioneered what was known as kitchen music. Have you ever heard of such a thing, Steve? Or
previously to you telling me about this, no, I have not heard of kitchen music.
Because I'd heard John Cage do his piece Water Walk, which is very famous, where he uses a bathtub and pitchers and blenders and stuff.
Blenders and ice cubes and
right. But this one struck me as quite bizarre because it is, I don't know, it's weird. It has an outdoor effect. It sounds like there are birds and like many layers, and at that point in time, you know, they were working with 2-track basically, and that type of, you know, him to be able to get that many noises in the span of time over, you know, 2 tracks is kind of crazy. So I just thought I'd give you a listen. You know, to the people that are listening, I'm sorry, it is kind of out there, but if you bear with it, it's rewarding, to say the least. I don't know much about him, other than that he is from Prague, and we've not seemed to be where everyone from Czechoslovakia is from. There are no other towns but Prague. And he's considered, well, music of the world's greatest composers. And I never even heard of him. So, with that in mind, the piece is called Dobry Wieczór Prosnish.
Dobry Wieczór Prosnish, I believe is the pronunciation.
Which loosely translates out to Good Evening December. And we'll put that on for you. And oops, that.
So this was in the 40s, right?
1943.
Alright.
Alright, let's have a seat. The music of the world's greatest composers. It's quite similar to John Cage, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how much chance, like, dice rolling or card flipping that he did to get this type of music. I don't really know anything about the background of why he did it. Well, listen to that. Like, I can't tell. There sounds like there's wind chimes in there.
Yeah.
But it also sounds like it could be bottles, you know, with a stick or...
They'd have to be crystal. You'd have to be fairly wealthy to get like that.
You hear water?
Yeah.
Hear the water? And mind you, this is recorded in 1943.
Yeah.
This is 65 years old. This predates most anything John Cage did in this style by 10 to 15 years. What I did learn about him is he was a professor as well. He taught music to people, but he was, the rumor is that he had syphilis.
Yeah.
He was kind of a kooky guy. So after a while of doing this, people started to not take him seriously. And then John Cage came along, and then all of a sudden it's art. You know what I'm saying?
I wonder if John Cage actually knew what he was doing. What was his name again?
Krocka Weiching.
Krocka
I don't know how to pronounce it. But I did research to try to find if John Cage knew anything about him, and I couldn't find anything that overlaps the two.
Yeah.
There's so much like, see how it has that like outdoor air sound to it?
Oh.
I mean, this isn't something I would sit down and listen to on a regular basis, but I can appreciate it for the fact that it is before its time.
What if there's on a kind of open pavilion patio where he was doing this?
Well, the thing is, some of it sounds like it wasn't recorded outside.
Yeah.
So it's obviously
the
performances
two
stacked on top of each other or something.
What I'm curious is whether it's just one person or whether he had any of maybe his students working with him.
Right.
I'm not sure.
It doesn't see it. This is all I have is this paper sleeve. And it, like I said, it considers him one of the world's greatest composers.
Wonder by who? Who's the sleeve done by?
Who is the
there is no commercial.
the people that deserve to give this guy this title?
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, seriously, I do appreciate it.
I'm curious as to who's copyrighted.
Yeah.
Produced this. I don't know. Because it would be, in my opinion, extremely dangerous to copyright this anywhere near his time.
Right.
Because nobody's, no offense, again, it's interesting and you can appreciate it.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, are there rhythms going on there? I mean, like, do you think this is something that's scored up? Like, John Cage's stuff was written out ahead of time.
Yeah.
And performed the same way, everything. And I
this
haven't
sounds a
heard
bit
anything
more
else besides this.
erratic. I'm not sure if he did base this on a time frame. Or actually plotted out what he was doing, I don't know.
I mean, there's some times where it sounds like he's repeating different types of rhythmic phrases, but...
Yeah. That could, again, just be sporadic and something that he liked at the time, though.
Right.
Like you said, we don't really...
You gotta understand, though, in 1943, when this was put out, this type of stuff wasn't happening. So it's like, where to get the funding? It was not easy to put out a record. Never has been cheap or easy to put out a record. You know, maybe he had some backing through the college, the university, or whatever. Or...
Sort of avant-garde kind of a
Avant-garde, yeah.
group. I'd like to see the anyone who'd listen to this on a regular basis. I'd love to speak with them because it's interesting. But again, I don't think I could get some really solid time
You get the
just
idea,
listening
right?
to it. Yeah.
But take this off here. What are your views? I mean, is this something that you dig, or?
I like it. It's not really something that I'd listen to on a regular basis. Like, I like Cage. Cage was interesting. But this is maybe a bit more erratic.
Right.
Kind of spontaneous for my taste.
Have you done research into what you will do for our next episode? Have you thought about anything? Have you found anything cool? Anything in mind?
Yeah, I have found a good band. Again, more of a cult classic that is Small Gathering.
Right.
And we're going to keep that one actually secret until then. It'll be a bit of a surprise for you.
I'm interested.
It'll be
haven't
interesting.
shown me.
I like it.
I
think you'll like it too.
So, that's it for... That's episode 4. We've already made it to episode 4, people. That's right. Good night.